Hey, what's up guys? Darkbreaker here with the first look wildrift patch 4.3a. The new patch is coming out on Thursday or Thursday night, and we have some lovely changes and we're gonna run through all of those changes, and I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get started. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Maybe like this. Okay, like this should be... Ooh. Not like this. Like this should be fine. So for the buffs, we have a Caitlyn buff for the trap. The trap charging time is getting reduced in the early to mid game by 3 seconds in the early game, then later 2 seconds, and in the late game the charging time of the trap is the same. Gives her a little bit of better utility, but it literally doesn't change anything. Caitlyn doesn't matter. Next one, Grace. First ability, second half bonus attack damage. I guess that's the return damage when the barrels are coming back, getting increased by 10% at each rank. I mean, it's a nice buff, but it shouldn't make him... I mean, I don't think it matters that much. It's just 10% on the second part of the first ability. Then the ultimate, base damage is getting increased by 25 at each rank. I mean, that's nice to have. I mean, nice to have changes, but I don't think it's gonna affect him that much. I mean, it's gonna make him stronger, obviously, but I think what they need to do is like maybe buff his early game a little bit, and then nerf his late game a little bit, so he gets into the core items, or he can snowball easier, because right now he is kind of slow tempo and he needs to farm up a lot. Next one is going to be Gwen. For Gwen, they are nerfing Jungle Gwen. The first ability, damage, is getting reduced by 20%. Like, instead of 100%, it's only 80% damage. It's going to nerf a jungle clear. Like, a jungle clear is already not that good, and it's going to make a jungle clear even worse throughout the whole game. So it's going to make a jungle clear in the early game weaker. So for the second ability, the cooldown is getting reduced by 3 seconds in the early game, and then in the late game the same, and it's gonna grant you more resistance. So mid lane and baron lane, especially baron lane Gwen, is gonna become way better, giving her more resistance in the early game, or in total, more resistance in the early mid game. In the late game it's the same. The cooldown is also getting reduced in the early game, so they're making Gwen's early mid game in the lane better, but they are nerfing jungle Gwen, at least a jungle clear speed. Her resistance is still better, but this is gonna definitely hurt her jungle clear. So Gwen jungle, I would say nerf. Gwen lane, buff. Now let's move on to Lee Sin. Sonic Wave, first ability, Resonating Strike. Sonic Wave bonus attack damage is getting increased by 5%, and Resonating Strike bonus is getting increased by 5% in the early game and 10% in the late game. So, slight buff to Lee Sin. Yeah, it's definitely gonna make it better for him to kill people, or easier for him to secure kills with the Resonating Strike bonus damage increase as well. But nothing too major. Now let's move on to Leona. Leona, base attack damage buffed by 4, and attack per level increased by 1.3. Solar flare damage is getting increased as well by 50 at every rank. Honestly, Jungle Leona or Bruiser Leona Baron lane viable. I've played Leona Baron lane beforehand, so this is definitely gonna make her early game a little bit better in the lane. But especially, like, the attack per level is strange. Why would they do attack per level? Trinity Force, Leona in the jungle. Oh, Iceborne Gauntlet, Sunfire Iceborne Gauntlet, Leona, Baron lane, or jungle. I think it's playable, by the way, not gonna lie. Because 4 attack damage increase, and then also attack per level getting increased. That's sus. Like, why are they doing attack per level as well? I mean, since she's a main tank. Honestly, I'm calling the Leona Baron lane and the Leona jungle maybe, but I think Leona Baron lane definitely. I actually saw a few Leona Baron lanes recently. Not necessary against Sundra champions, but against non-Sundra champions. Next one is going to be Samira. Samira bonus attack damage is getting increased for the first ability by 5 at every rank. Then for the second ability, the cooldown is getting reduced by 4 at first rank, and then later a little bit more. 2.5, 3, 3.5, okay. So the cooldown of the second ability is getting reduced at each rank, and the first ability does more damage. I think Samira is in a good spot actually, where she doesn't need the buff necessary. It's gonna make her utility better, and her first ability and main damage is also gonna be stronger, slightly stronger. But the utility is definitely helpful. Then item buffs, Gluttonous Grease giving 35 attack damage now. I guess because people are more tending to go for the armor penetration boots over the Gluttonous Grease right now, or the attack speed boots over Gluttonous Grease as well. So they are compensating by buffing it, so it has more usage again. Next one is going Neela. Neela is getting adjusted. Base armor getting increased. Base health regeneration is also getting increased by 4. And then first ability damage onto monsters getting decreased by 40%. That's a huge jungle Neela nerf. And I call it Neela jungle is viable and is actually very popular. A lot of people are running Neela jungle because she has so much sustaining damage. But this is definitely gonna make Neela laning phase in the Dragon Lane better, and Neela jungle is gonna be way worse. 40% damage nerf on that first ability is gonna be big for that jungle clear speed. It's a big nerf actually. 40% damage nerf. Now next one is gonna be Volibear. The base health regeneration of Volibear's second ability is getting increased at each rank by 10, and damage ratio to monsters is getting decreased by 20%. I think Volibear's jungle clear speed was way too good anyways, so I think he's still gonna be fine. And they're also buffing his regeneration on the second ability. It's gonna make his Baron lane a little bit better, and I think jungle Volibear is still gonna be strong, even though like you get more base HP regeneration, but jungle clear speed is gonna get nerfed. Let's move on to nerfs. Nerfs is gonna be interesting. The first nerf is gonna be Olaf. Olaf's first ability is getting decreased at every rank by 10, and the third ability is also getting nerfed by 5. Actually, it's nothing. Never mind. I'm maxing third ability anyways. Because it does true damage, and you can spam it a lot. First ability 10 nerf. I guess it's gonna affect his. If you start first ability blue side, it's gonna make his jungle clear speed a little bit weaker. But if you're starting red side, with the third ability, it doesn't really affect him. Yeah, I think it's minimal. Damage nerf doesn't really affect Olaf, barely noticeable. Next one is gonna be Ornn. Base attack damage is getting decreased by 4. HP per level is getting decreased by, oh wow, by 16. That's actually a lot. I mean, it's 16 times 15 then, or actually times 14. Then second ability, Bellows breath damage from 13% to 10%, from 60% to 13%. So a nerf by 3 per level. It's a big damage nerf actually, especially in the late game, 3% less. Because if you think about it, 3% out of 16 or 3% out of 13 is actually a big damage decrease. So he's not gonna shred through opponents or through tanks that easily anymore. And Searing Charge. Bonus damage, scaling with 50% bonus armor and 50% bonus magic resistance, getting decreased by 10 for each resistance stat. Also reducing that damage on that third ability. Yeah. First of all, base attack damage is gonna hit his early game traits. Then HP per level is gonna affect his late game HP, being less tanky. Second ability and third ability is gonna affect his overall damage output as a tank. So this is actually a decent nerf, a decent big nerf, because Ornn is pretty much god tier right now in the Baron lane. Next one, Rakan getting nerfed. Base HP getting decreased by 30, and then the shielding is also getting decreased by 10 at every rank. Solid nerf on Rakan. I think Rakan is extremely strong right now. It's gonna make his early game weaker and also his shielding utility potential weaker. Next one, Rammus. Rammus getting nerfed. So what did they do? Movement speed, rolling armadillo, the passive. Movement speed during rolling state increases to 60 plus 90 divided by 14 times level minus 1. Then it is 35 plus level times 2. I mean, you can just see from the base stat. The base stat used to be 60 and now it's only 35. So in the early game, it's gonna be definitely a big nerf. Oh wow, I see. I see, dude. The early game is a big nerf actually for his movement speed. It's gonna make his snowboarding potential weaker because his rotation is gonna be slower. Next one, armor increase. On that second ability is getting decreased by 5 at every rank. That's gonna make him less tanky and he will do less damage as well. Now for Zoe, Zoe's getting nerfed. Yes, fuck this champion. 10% base damage nerf on that first ability. Maximum damage is getting decreased by, oh wow, in the early game by a lot. Almost 20. Yeah, almost 20 across every rank. I think it's 15. Yeah, 15. 15 at every rank. That's a big damage nerf in the early game. Nice, good shit. Shit champion. But I think they should nerf the AP ratios as well. The AP ratios are disgusting. Next one, third ability. The damage is getting reduced at every rank. The ability power is getting increased though. So it's gonna, her early game is gonna be weaker. So basically her early game is gonna be way weaker, but her late game third ability damage is higher. Second half damage the same. Early game weaker, late game stronger. But early game is definitely way weaker than the 5% damage increase in percentage that you're getting. Because if you guys see, from 60 to 40, 5% ability power, and in the early game you don't have that much ability power. So you guys will definitely notice this. Early game damage way weaker. Good shit. This champion is obnoxious. Too strong. Boots of Mana are getting nerfed. Let's go. Ability power is getting decreased by 5. And base mana regeneration getting decreased by 50. Nice. So champions. Because of Boots of Mana, a lot of champions didn't need mana flow bands. Or they didn't need tier. But this is kind of gonna make them more mana hungry, which is good. Then plated steel caps, physical damage reduction is getting decreased by 3. Interesting. So less damage reduction against physical damage. Okay. Anyways, Ornn is a big nerf. Zoe is a decent nerf. Rammus is also getting nerfed. I don't think it matters that much. Rakan. Yeah, Rakan nerf. I don't think it's gonna. I guess it's gonna affect this early game because of the 30 base HP. For the buffs. Yeah, Baron Lane Gwen way stronger. Grace doesn't matter. Caitlyn doesn't matter. Lee Sin doesn't really matter. Leona is interesting. Samira. Yeah, Samira is slightly strong as well. Leona is, I guess. I find it interesting that they're buffing the attack damage by so much. It's 1.3 per level more. 1.3 times 14. And then 4 base attack damage more. Baron Lane Leona. I'm calling it right now. Baron Lane Leona. Gluttonous Greaves, interesting. Neela jungle is getting nerfed. Neela jungle is not... I don't think it's going to be viable anymore. Probably viable, but not good anymore as it is right now. Volibear is also getting nerfed. I wouldn't call this adjustment. This is more like a nerf. I guess because Baron Lane, Volibear is stronger, but for jungle it's a nerf. But yeah, that's good for the changes. What do you guys think about those changes? Good or bad? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed it. And write down below in the comments your opinion. I see you guys next time. Bye bye.